Yes. Go ahead. Now say if you have the courage. If you have the courage, say what you were saying.
I am labeled to have the courage throughout my
Go
life. Is
ahead.
that
Go ahead. Say what you were going to say against my teacher, my master,
I didn't say
my
anything
idol,
against. I don't.
my
I don't
idol.
judge
Oh,
people. In
oh,
fact, he's
oh.
my idol because it was the
That
first book that has actually got me in awakening journey. We're
that's
talking about
not
Eckhart
that's
Tolle
not what
here.
you were saying the worst
Please put
things
your
about.
5G on.
It
Please
is
put
on.
your 5G on.
It is,
Okay.
Habibi. Relax. My God,
Yeah, we're just saying
are
that,
you agitated? Are you agitated today? You know that
what you picked it
I'm a
up very well.
provocateur. I'm a provocateur. Yes, I'm very aware, and I'm a provocateur. My brother used to say one time, I made him. I was naughty. He liked this older woman. He was about. Oh, he'll never forgive me for this. I think he was at 14 or 15. And he still holds it against me. We were in Sardinia,
Mm.
and this girl was like hanging out with a good-looking guy, like in his 30s. For us, I was 16, maybe 17. So Enzo was 14 or 15, and this guy was like pecs, biceps, and I hello, are you listening? The hell, anybody home?
I'm
Hello.
listening. I'm
When I
raising
talk,
your voice.
it's okay. You're putting it down a bit. And so I said to him, uh, I caught her looking at you today. And he's like, what? Well, little kid, what did you say? What? I said, yeah, I think she wants you. I think she wants you bad. So I talked him into
What's the
going
age difference between you and your brother?
2 years. I told you he was 14 or 15.
That's when I had my headsets off. Yeah.
I'm afraid that you have your headsets off the whole session. I swear. I think that's what I'm going to find out. And so I said to him, yeah. And so I convinced him. It took a while. It took a couple of hours to get his courage up. I convinced him to go to her room, to her hotel room, when we were in the same hotel, and to knock on her door and to say something. I forget what I told him to say. And I was looking from behind the corner, I was like, and he's like, oh, something, I want you, or I want you bad. I said, yes, you got to be direct, you got to be strong. And he said that he looked over her, she turned around, and the guy was in bed, the big guy was in bed smoking a cigarette. And he just looked over and went like this, like he felt sorry for my brother. And she said, thank you, that's so
And it's
sweet.
all you're doing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did
You'll
he
never
ever
forget
listen
it.
to you again after this? Listen to any advice?
Uh, do you really want to go into that? Do you really want to press that button?
It's family affairs. I leave that up to you.
No, God bless my brother. He's doing so well. Yeah, anyway, yeah. Uh, let's say no. Let's say no, but we'll get into that one day. Yeah, we'll get into that. Um, what did we want to talk about? I wanted to talk about, there is a subject that is two things, okay, I want to talk about. One is the sexual virus. Yes. I want to
Yes,
talk
where we
about that.
picked up last time.
We talked about it. The other one I want to talk about, I have a bone to pick. I've decided. Rage against nothing. We talked about this. Jack Canfield, who talked about Mother Teresa, that they asked her to join a peace rally, or actually an anti-war rally. And she said, an alley. Yeah, that's. And she said, I won't join anything anti anything, but I will join anything that is for peace. Yes? So that always goes back to our focus. But I have some deep insights for you. Are you ready?
I'm surprised that you have deep insight.
I
I'm
actually
always
have.
ready for this. This
I
is the
have.
highlight of my week.
After today, your life can change completely. Are you ready? Like,
Namaste.
like after today, you could be a totally different person. Are you ready?
To the better, I'm hoping.
Well, everybody else, yes, but no, for you, there's no hope. So, sorry.
Why no hope for me in
No,
particular?
hello. I'm joking. Humor.
Yeah,
Hello.
the vision, the vision.
The vision you
Yeah.
have of it. Oh my God, if you had a hard day, be honest. No. Now we're gonna be
I
honest. We're
did
gonna
have
get
a
real.
hard day.
There you go. Okay, that's the key. I will make it easier.
I didn't have a hard day. No, it was an easy day. I had a hard day where sometimes you would like to fill the bottle of patience, but you have no
What the
room for
hell are
it.
you talking about? It was an easy
But
day, but one day you have to fill the bottle of patience.
I did not finish a sentence, if you allow me, please. Of comprehending humans.
What are you, crazy? What's wrong with you? Why are you trying to comprehend humans? Okay, I'll make it easier. I'll let you comprehend humans. I swear, this is a great insight. Now, if we can all live like today, like my insight, you'll have a happy life. Okay, I promise you. Now, you want to start with that?
Well, yeah, it's I think many people could relate. All of us
Okay,
can relate.
okay. Then, everything, everything is experience.
True.
Okay, so what does that mean? So that means that go from source, start from the beginning of time, yes, and space, and existence itself. Okay, so you start from time and space and existence itself, from point zero, what we call it, or uh, I don't want to call it actually beginning, before the beginning. You like that? Before the beginning, because beginning has an ending. So beingness, okay, so follow me, beingness, okay? Beingness has nothing to do with existence as we know it. So just beingness in eternity, okay? Eternal bliss, let's call it that way, or eternal light. You begin with that and you go from that to the tiny mad idea that is described in A Course in Miracles. Now, the tiny mad idea is everything that we know, that we call existence, which means beginning of time, possibly end of time, experience, which means human, animal, universe, etc. Anything that is created, anything that is perceived. Yes? Following?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go from experience, plain existence, which is experience, because now you're experiencing me talking, but you're experiencing the day you had. When you are no longer in a body, or before even you were in a body, you had an experience of consciousness. So we're talking about pre-consciousness, pre-separation. So when there's only oneness, so there's nothing to compare it to. You are, period. You just are. There's nothing, I am this and that is that. No, I am, period. So that's why we're having the experience, so that all that is can have an experience of being something that it is not. Now we understand these concepts because we've been through it, yes? And so have many of
Yes.
the listeners. Okay. So if you can get away, which we all fall into the trap of temptation. Temptation is seeing anything that is separation. And we all do it.
Yes.
So if you can get away from that trap and bring it back to source, all that is, which we are a part of, yes? So we're a part of all that is experiencing itself in a different way, in a very unique way. Amani, Danny, Jim Carrey, my brother Lorenzo, etc., etc., etc. The world. Yes? Animals, planets, parallel realities, etc. That because all that is all that is. So there's nothing outside of all that is. Yes? You follow?
There's nothing outside all
There
that
can't be.
is.
No. There's nothing outside of all that is. This is the fundamental thing that I want to take you back to, which we all get lost in. There's nothing that is not of God made. So there's nothing that doesn't contain God. Do you understand?
Well,
No. You can't say, well. Either you accept it or you don't. And if you don't accept it, what you accept is that there's a God.
and for those that don't accept,
That's good. God bless them. That's okay. I'm not talking to those who don't accept. I'm talking to those who want to hear the message.
got it.
Yeah. I have a brother-in-law who doesn't.
The message.
This is the message. Yeah, this is the message. I have a brother-in-law who doesn't accept, who's very religious, who's very, God bless. It doesn't matter. Listen, even using reason, think about just using your reason. It doesn't matter whether you accept it or not if it's true, right? In other words, think about it in terms of absolute
It'll
truth.
take you in a whirlwind.
Well,
It's just endless,
whether it will, won't. It doesn't really matter to truth. Truth, absolute truth, cannot be tainted by relative truth. So, even what I'm saying now could be a relative truth said from a human mind to another human mind and then to others who are listening. But absolute truth cannot be touched. Do you understand? So,
this is why we're experiencing this.
Yes, and I'm getting to that. So the statement that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists has true power to it. So it doesn't. This is the whole point of experiencing anything. The experience itself is a godly experience, and this will explain how we can free ourselves from dogmatic thinking or from organized religions. Because you are, and Neville Goddard, I think I've mentioned him before, I love his speaking, and he quotes from the Bible. Now, mind you, I grew up Catholic. I practically know nothing from the Bible because I didn't have a kinship with it. Anyway, the Bible's been revised. The Bible's been tampered with. So you would have to go and decide for yourself what is valid and what is not. You cannot take it as a sacred text. And this is exactly the experience of you, God, you, Amani, a part of God, of all that is. You are, in essence, you're not going to accept this, but you're God.
I'm been created by.
No. There's only a difference. Listen, there's only a difference between you and God.
ونفخت فيه من روحي. There's a
Okay, go
spark
ahead.
of God. There's a spark of the Spirit of God, meaning that I have the attributes of a God, of Allah. So I do have these attributes. So
So
it's
what's
a
the
reminder.
difference? Let me ask you, what's the difference between you and God?
I'm a God in my own world. Yes,
I know. What's the difference between you and God?
I can't create what God created.
Yes, you can.
I cannot
Yeah.
create a fly, a bee, a
Yes, you
human.
can. You are creating it. You're a part of God.
How, okay, I see where you're going.
You are. You are God. You're an aspect of God experiencing itself. I like to say itself. Let's forget, because some refer to only light. My guides would refer to God as only light. Some refer to source, yes. Some
Yeah.
to God. In Italian, it's Dio. In French, it's Dieu. Uh, in the Muslim, in the Islam, it's Allah. Yes. Uh, then we have, well, we can go down the line and see how many others we have. But ultimately, there's only, to how I understand it, and I like to say this way, to how I understand it, in my still limited understanding, I am a part of unlimited knowledge, unlimited source. But in essence, I told you before, you are a piece of the pie. Let's say the pie is all that is. You're a piece of the pie. Don't you contain all the elements of the pie, of the rest of the pie?
Yes.
You have all the same elements. You're not the whole pie, you're just a piece of it. But you have all the same ingredients, yes?
Yes.
And you're not separate from the pie. It's not like in material, in our material reality, where you separate and then there's a space between the you know the what do you call it? The slice that we cut and the pie. Then we see a space. Ah, okay, it's separate. There's no such separate space in reality.
Well, this is the beauty of this journey is to actually realize that you're never separate.
There you go. So you take experience. So you know what I realized today. Now, if we can hold on to this, we will have very happy lives.
Mm.
Because you will never again ask a question, why do humans do this? Why does this, I was thinking today,
Because that human is me as well. That other
but that
human.
is temptation. Yes, but we have to not resist it. I would not go as far as George Bernard Shaw says, I can resist anything. Or was it Bernard Shaw? Or was it, oh my God, now I'm blanking. I want to put it afterwards. I can resist anything but temptation.
Mm.
Well, I know you're not gonna come in and help me on this one, but we'll get back to it. I can resist anything but temptation.
I'll look it
Uh,
up.
yes, but the thing is, that's where the ego will tempt you, huh? That's where the ego will tempt you to go,
To separate. Yeah.
to separate. So be careful, be careful. So the only thing that is normal and natural is experience. Normal, natural. I don't even like those terms. Um, Experience. So basically, why then are like teachings like Eckhart's or other masters wonderful? Because it brings you back to the now, to your essence, to your presence, to the I am. And experience is nothing else than God, all that is, experiencing himself from a unique point of view. What are you going to say?
I generally avoid temptation unless I can't resist it.
Who is the author? No, it's Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde.
Thank you. Now
Just
that
when
you
I saw
said
the
it,
other one, I can resist anything except temptation.
yes,
Oscar Wilde. I
yes,
can
Oscar
resist
Wilde.
anything except
Oh, I think he said but temptation, but anyway, it doesn't.
explain this to me. I like the sound of this. I can resist anything
Well,
except
it's
temptation.
humor. It's saying that you can't resist temptation.
Which means you can't resist, yeah, all temptations. I
Yeah,
can resist anything.
but temptation. But that,
Just like
but it's just using humor to diffuse the situation, because that's the ultimate. It's not, don't give in to the effects, which are, in our case, in human form, the 3D screen. Remember that you are the cause and that's the effect. Now, when you
mm,
get there,
I was
Then,
the cause, actually. Now to
well,
think of it, I was
when
the
you,
cause of that effect. But you know why? Because I wanted to challenge that person because I challenge
yeah, but you're,
myself and it's expectation again.
well, there's no other person, by the way. There's no other person. You're
Yeah,
creating this
again.
reality. See, there you go. You're giving into temptation. You're making that real. The
Of
only
separation
thing that is real
and
is
temptation.
experience. No, experience, in a sense. But not even that is real. Experience is the eternal spirit that we are, yes, having, the words are difficult to describe, but it's the eternal soul that we are, having an experience of being unique. There you go. That's how I could say it. Like,
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna mark that. I'm
oh, mark it.
gonna do a pop-up.
Instead of
Pop-up
being one.
caption.
So, of being unique instead of being all one. Okay. So, if you really held on to that, which really
So
struck me today,
how can we be unique while we
you are
are,
unique. You are unique.
how can we be unique when we are right here right now
You're still unique.
asking, there's a better word than the word asking, asking, saying out loud that we're all one, just with
Yeah,
different experiences.
that's the whole point. To remember that that it's all one. That's the whole
So
point.
we're unique, many uniques,
Yes.
but we're one unique.
Yes.
In
Yes.
my
It's
simple,
an
naive
illusion.
terms.
Well, yes, the illusion is the uniqueness. You are eternal. Think about it. Think about it in terms, again, I like to go back to the beginning
Not
before I,
not this. This is not eternal, but yeah,
but
the
you're not that.
consciousness.
But you're
Yes.
not this.
Yeah, I'm just
No more than you're
simplifying
that
it.
sweater. You're
Because
wearing a
you
sweater.
know, you'll get people say, "What, you're a vampire?"
But I don't care what people say. I don't care. What the hell? People are going to say, "Are you crazy?" There you go again. Why are you concerned with what people say? People are going to think a billion
Hey,
different things.
I posted something really hilarious 2 days ago about being crazy. It's if somebody comes up and tells you, "Are you crazy?" Your wife is literally DMing me now on
That's the
Instagram.
problem.
That's hilarious.
I know.
So
I love her. Not.
where is it? Yeah, I'll find it. I love that one. It says this. You can talk while I look for it. I allow you.
Well, I tell you,
Here it is. I love it. Every time you want to talk, then I.
yeah, but you're just
If
like my
anyone
wife.
asks,
You're just like my wife. That's
asks,
okay.
if anyone asks, "Are you crazy?" Simply reply, "Yes." Boom. End of discussion. I love that. I'm gonna use that for the rest of my life. Are you crazy? Yes.
Yes. But you should do it with.
I think you got there before me.
Yes.
Jim Carrey style.
I can add some noise to it.
And then you perform. Yeah, you give them the performance. So, let's talk crazy now. Continue talking crazy.
No, that's not crazy, actually. So remember that experience. If you really only focused on the fact that each unique being, each divine spark of light, so each divine piece of source, which is everything that is seems separate from source. So it's this. There is God particle in a wrapper. Because there's nothing that is not of God made. Now, this one will have a different consciousness, different awareness of itself than Amani. Well, I'm not so sure, but possibly. Do you understand?
I'm one with that rapper.
But if you think of it in those terms, then you let everything have their experience, and you're only concerned with your experience and how you add. So wait, I want to make an important point because this is something that is going to help me tremendously in my life and other people if they hook onto it. So since because I want to say something that most people like to latch on to the idea, what about the poor people, uh, the people that are empathic? What about the people, the poor child in the African village or the poor
Mm.
person in the slums of India? You don't even have to go that far. Today I had a guy at the gas station pumping gas, missing teeth and everything. Well, I'll tell you two things. First of all, those are extremely, extremely brave souls. Extremely. So hats off. Let's never forget, hats off to these brave souls that come here and have such an experience of lack and limitation, which you and I cannot even fathom. I mean, we have difficulties. We all have had difficulties. We've had loss, tremendous loss. But
I think about that.
to
That's
that
how I
degree,
see them, that they are brave, that they've
oh,
chosen this.
holy
Ooh, God
crap.
forbid now somebody will say, "How could you say they've
I
chosen
know,
this?"
Ancora, will
Yes,
you stop? I don't care. Will you? I swear to God,
that's
I'm
how
gonna come across
to
that
London.
if you mention another person that's gonna say this and another person, I don't care.
That's the beauty of the source, is that we have the free will, the free agency to take the role that we want in this crazy
I
movie.
don't give a. Oh my God, I'm gonna say bad words. I don't care
Well,
about what
please go
other
ahead.
people think.
We're a
I'll
freestyle
tell you, I don't
platform.
care about what other people think. There's gonna be, of course, you're gonna have people. Anything you say, unless it's all roses and even then they'll make fun of you.
So continue your thought that they are brave souls,
They are
yes?
brave souls having an experience of extreme limitation and difficulty. But if you think so, if everyone picks their cause, yes, some the garbage in the ocean, some we could all pick something that
We
we
caused
can
that.
notch. Okay. We're not even going to get into that, you and me. We don't get into
Okay.
causes. We get
Yeah.
into the spirit and to the
Experiences.
essence. I'm always going to just go back to the essence. I don't care because then you're going to get lost in that.
Mm.
And I promise you that I can find not a
Lost in the
thousand.
sequence, yeah.
I can find you 1,000, maybe 10,000 causes that you can spend your whole life on. Why is one more valuable than another? In the 1990s, the Hutus and the Tutsis decimated, especially, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Hutus on the Tutsis, or maybe the other way around. But someone should go look back at that genocide if you want to. If you don't. Or during the Yugoslavian wars, there was some ethnic cleansing that was terrifying, atrocious. So you don't even have to go. You could pick a cause around your neighborhood. I have people who open the car window and throw trash from their car window. That's a cause. I have one of the most important streets down in front of my house where presidents and world leaders zoom by with 6, 7 security cars, and there's trash littered all over the place because the company that was in charge to clean the vegetation, they cleaned out the vegetation along the road, but there was trash that people had thrown. But since it was their job just to clean the vegetation, they didn't clean the trash. So now you took away the vegetation and revealed all the trash. Do you understand?
Wow.
So you could pick out anything in life. So we're not going to go there. You want to live a good life? Don't pay any attention to things that you don't like. How's that? How do you like that idea?
I'm practicing that. I'm reminding myself of that.
Yeah, and
But
you know what?
but
People,
so,
okay, but since you're so, you know what people are going to call you? Selfish. A jerk.
yeah, but
A selfish jerk. How do you like that?
sometimes
How do
I
you like
find
that?
myself
How do you like
compelled.
that? How do you like if someone
I
calls
I
you?
don't care what they call me.
Mm,
I don't defend it anymore. I
I like
used
it.
to.
No, I
I
like
used to
it.
react. I choose not to react or respond. Sometimes I respond just for the hell of it, for entertainment.
I tell you, if everybody lived, okay, so we're going to go back to experience, okay? Listen to this. So just take
Because I like
God.
to experience it with entertainment response.
Okay, just take God. Just take God. Yes, God. All that is. So I'm going back because I'm going back to uh, we should not even ask the question, why are there atrocities in the world? Why does God allow such things as there, if there's a benevolent God or if it's a
Mm,
benevolent universe? Be
mm.
careful because all that is has to experience everything. Do you understand? To understand, it can't just experience something, it's all that is. So it has to experience everything. Now, the question is different. What experience do you want to be in all that is? And that's where the
Mm.
key is. So even you've had, I don't know if but I'm sure you have had suffering. I don't know your personal details, but I have had suffering where I've chosen things that have made me suffer. So at some
Thinking
point,
that's on my part, thinking that that's the way, you know,
it's meant to
I
be.
strengthen. Yeah,
Well,
meant to
yeah, but you're
be.
also there's a part of you that I'm sure says, "Oh, it's divine. Uh, uh, it's meant to be. That's my lot in
Oh yeah,
life.
yeah.
A lot of things.
For a
My that's
part
what
of
my
it, yeah, it
soul
was.
wants. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what my
Mm-mm.
soul wants. But how about if we get to choose at some point when we start to awaken and say, "No, wait a second. I'm going to consciously, in awareness, choose the best, most exciting, most joyful experience." So that I will contribute to the experience that all that is, but in joy, in excitement, in passion.
Absolutely, absolutely. The
And
learnings
then
don't have to be through suffering anymore.
anymore. You said it, but that's only when you understand it. So yes, so remember always experience is divine. It's divinity experiencing itself. Any experience doesn't mean that you have to choose it. So even with someone, that's how you get away from judgment. When someone is committing something atrocious, be careful. Just don't choose it. But if you go and judge it as something terrible, something bad, or you want to go and kill that person, you want to go and punish that person, which is a tempting and natural temptation,
What if you
you're
happen
getting
to be in a place that has suffering?
you put well as a
Which I
so
was,
of course
but I chose not to.
it's always a choice how we choose to experience it.
I chose how to experience it while there's all that suffering. That there's always something right there. That's
And
bright. That's okay. That's
and the
good.
ego, listen, the ego will justify it, will rationalize it, will find a way to make you feel bad in terms of rationalizing, saying, oh, you're not human, you're inhuman, you're shallow, if you don't care, if you don't suffer with them, to join. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
Careful. We have to be careful. But I realized that in saying this, words don't teach, so it won't be just everyone has to experience it. But I did feel it today when I went for my walk. I felt this um, kernel of knowledge about experience. But you have to get there. It didn't take me long, only 20 years. So I suspect it can take others, less. Yeah.
Or I'm still an apprentice in this. Like something still sort of triggers me here and there. It doesn't trigger me 10, 20 times a day like it used to, but one off can
It's okay.
can trigger.
We all
Yeah.
get
One is
lost.
good as opposed to every single hour compared to before.
Yeah, I think the important part is to realize that things you're still part of mass consciousness. Yeah.
Hmm.
So effects. It's interesting. You will still be tempted. Like things will happen, but it's remember what I said about what Bashar had said that it's your reaction. You will only know if you've changed, not because something doesn't happen to you,
The reaction.
because it's your
Yeah.
reaction. If your reaction is different, but the thing is similar, very similar, or the same, nothing is exactly the same, but very same similar situation. But your reaction, then you will know you have changed. And not only that, the benefit of that is then the effect will change automatically, not
True.
instantaneously, but it will change because you have changed.
And
And since you're
it's
the
cool to
cause,
say to it's cool to say to experiment. Like I really push myself to experiment to see the difference.
yeah,
So not only do I say, hey, change your mindset because I've done that. Yeah, it works. But there are times there are things that are really deep rooted, whether
of
from
course,
me, from
yeah,
genetics, learnings, things that we've been conditioned to. So what do I
our
choose to do
beliefs.
is to play. Yeah, our
That's
beliefs, of
good.
course, our belief system is that I experiment with it. I'm like, how about
Yeah.
experience it this way, try it that way, see what the outcome is. Not easy, but I try it.
Well, that's the only way we can get to expand. And what
I'll
is
tell you for an
expansion?
example, like today, something that would have happened like today, I would just react and say, how could they write such an email? How could they do that? You know what? I'm not gonna be part of this. End of story. I've just like exploded everything with no moving forward. I still do that, and I'm hoping the next step is to change the following. So I've done the drama, of course, but then I say, but I have a solution for it. The solution is either A, B, or C. So now I'm hoping next time is that it's interesting what I got as a response. The email, they choose to respond that way. But I believe that we should, the solutions are as follows. I'm hoping that I will evolve into that because it's just a waste of energy to judge or
Or to
to, put your
recognize it.
word in.
Yeah, or to
Yeah.
recognize it as that you just, to go back to the reality, which is you're a spiritual being, a spiritual, I don't even like to say, your spirit. Your
Mm.
spirit. You're an eternal flame experiencing a dream of limitation. So
Because
if
I love what you said, because if I change that, the outcome will change. And that's what
eventually,
I choose to have is
eventually,
to live with joy, live with less suffering, live with,
yeah.
you know,
But where's the key? Where's the key? Where are all the teachers? What do all the teachers say? Don't wait for the circumstance to change. Because anyway, the circumstance actually won't change unless you change first. So, a great man, Mahatma Gandhi, said, be the change you want to see in the world. But that is not applicable only to
I have
political.
that on my door in
Well, what does
Dubai.
that
I
mean?
literally have
Yeah,
it.
but
I didn't know.
you
I didn't know that was for Gandhi. I have it right there up on my door.
well, if
My
he's not,
friends make fun of it when they walk into the house.
well, if it's not, he should have said it. No, but I'm pretty sure it is Gandhi. Be the change
Mm.
that you want to see in the world. But what does that mean? He
What does that mean?
Well, that's exactly what it means. Be the change. You want to see a change in any
Don't wait for
circumstance in
it.
your life. No, you be the change. You be the cause. So,
Start it.
because not starting, you are the change, and then the effect will reflect back at you that you actually have changed. The effect is the 3D screen that we call life. So,
Human anatomy alone is a beautiful reminder.
The human anatomy? Why? What part of a human anatomy are you talking about?
All of us, the eyes, the ears, the
Ah,
brain,
okay.
the heart. What human?
No, I don't know.
Was that the transition into
Well,
the this next
I'm not sure
topic?
what where we're going here.
No, really, that when I studied something called intuitive anatomy for 11 days in theta healing, that was a huge eye opener for me to sort of like what the hell am I doing to my cells?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, look
Well,
at the
Seth talks
beauty
about
of
that.
these.
Seth talks
Yeah,
about that.
like,
But your
and how
thoughts
everything
affecting
is in
yourselves.
flow and connected,
Yeah.
and like, what am I actually, just a bit of anger or that deep rooted grief or sadness or reactions that we do, the cause and effect again, what's happening to my body whilst I'm doing that. So what longevity am I giving my body to
Exactly.
serve me in this experience?
In this experience,
Uh,
you said it well. Yeah,
so
it's
if I
true.
want to experience joy, how am I
Yeah.
gonna allow my body to do that, to team up with me?
Yeah, and this is the issue. I think some of the great teachers have said, um, most people wait to experience joy until something joyful happens. You know, in other words, I don't want to talk specifics necessarily, but you know, for most people, you know what
Again,
it
we're
is.
separating ourselves from our bodies. So when an illness happens, it's like, oh my God, an illness happened to my body. Yeah, this is your body right here. This is what you need to do. Just team up, partner up with
Yeah,
your body. It's not outside of you.
yeah, and listen. With this, we need to get away from that way of thinking because it's not going to help. It's not going to help us expand. Um, because an individual doesn't know why someone else created that in that experience. I'm going back to experience. Why? Think about it. If you're eternal, and you are, and indestructible, and anyway, you're eternal, and the body is just an experience, just like driving a car is an experience. Driving a McLaren will give you.
I had to look for evidence because just the way my mind is, the logic of how am I indestructible? How am I infinite? I'll come to that. I'll tell you how I found it. It's just the way my mind works. I need logic of how am I gonna live on.
Well, I think it's interesting that now, through the relatively new discoveries in quantum physics, we understand how, and we go look at the subatomic particles, and we understand how the solid objects in the universe itself is mostly empty space.
Hmm.
Then we can begin to understand how this is like the furthermost tip. It's in other words, like you see the edge like an outline. You would see an outline of something which looks like the body if you look at it from the front, but then inside it, it's all empty. But if you
Mm-hmm.
go to the side, you would see that it's all empty, and you would see that it's only a thin line from the front. I would think
Well,
that's how you can look
I
at it.
wanted to know, so I found that CERN, where it's a lab,
CERN,
and
yes, I know CERN,
yeah,
yes.
they
Yeah,
they
the God
study
particle.
energy.
Well,
Yeah,
they wanted to
they
recreate the
kept
God particle.
combusting.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they wanted to also combust energy, and they've combusted. Actually, you can go visit it. I want to go visit it. They've created a huge hole just trying to combust energy. I
Well, they
think
were
it took
trying
them
to.
several attempts, and
Well,
energy couldn't dissipate.
no, because it cannot be created or destroyed.
So that's what was
That goes
my
back to
how I
being
wanted to
inside. There's
understand.
nothing outside because there's nothing outside of the mind of God. So that would be explained from spirituality. But I
So
don't
I'm
like.
gonna come and haunt you. Yeah, I'm gonna haunt you
Oh, you're gonna come and haunt me. Nothing can haunt
somewhere in
me
space. I don't know how I'm gonna find the
when you're
code
gone.
to when I'm
Frequency,
gone.
frequency. But
Yeah.
you're
So
already
I'll
gone.
tap into.
But how? Hold on. You want to go further? You're already gone. You're not here.
I'm gone, but I came back.
No, you're not here. The conversation we're
Uh,
not having, we're having, is not real. Where were you 60
but
years ago?
but it's real when you think. But it's real
Where
when you
were you
think of
60
it.
years ago? Where are you going to be in 60 years from now? I'll still be here. I don't know about you. Where are you going to be in 60 years from now?
I'd like to still be here because there's a lot of things I still want to do.
Same. In
You
this
know,
body.
in the past few years back in my 30s, I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to live that long.
I
It's
know.
interesting why now I say I'd like to live long.
No, I always said, and I was mistaken, by the way, I always said that a good lifespan would be 120 years. But if you think about it, we all have to agree on that. We should all agree on that. And it makes sense that we're all more or less, aside from illness, accidents, etc., we all choose more or less a similar lifespan. And if you think about it, it's only out of convenience. Because let's say that I choose to live 200 years. Hmm? That I choose to live 200 years. But I would have lost along the way all my loved ones. And if I
Mm.
choose to live 200 years, possibly even my children. But yeah, if I had a
Meaning,
child, well, if
you
I have a
change
child,
your mind?
no, I don't change my mind, but it might not be so convenient until we all agree to live longer.
Mm.
It
That's
could
a
be,
nice
it
way
could
of
be
putting
just
it.
an agreement.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Well, if you think
And
about
also
all
I
the,
think we choose when to go.
well, that, yes, I'm sure, on another level, on the soul level or the higher self level or another level, yes. One
But
choose
we
to
all,
live.
that's my own insight,
I
just
agree.
from few readings and findings there that we choose to leave when we've completed our
Experience.
purpose or purposes.
Experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Experience.
Experiences, yeah.
Well, I was going to bring up an author that I was going to criticize. And now I don't feel like it's even worth it.
Criticizing.
Yeah. But because she was she spoke poorly. I'm not even going to mention her name now. She spoke poorly about other authors, and I don't like that.
Mm.
And again, it goes back to that experience because these other authors may have helped. Everything helps. Everything that starts to open someone's mind, starts to open to new possibilities. Everything helps. And nothing is the ultimate truth anyway. It goes back to what I was saying. There's only one truth. There's only one truth. So if I said, and again, I can't say God, because if I say God, some people will be excluded. I can't say source, because if I say source, some others will be excluded. If I say Allah, I can't because some others, again. And is it Krishna? Uh, well, the Buddhists don't have a God. There are no words, because even words are a manifestation. Even words
Exactly.
are a manifestation.
I
Yeah.
just came about a video earlier this morning, and I thought, hey, I never thought about I like it might have crossed my mind, but I never really sat and thought about it that way. Exactly what you just
Mm.
said is that when you give a meaning to something, it means it exists.
You're already experiencing, of course. It goes
Yeah.
back to my definition of experience.
It will not go. The moment you have verbalized it, said it, given it meaning, you've given it existence.
Yes, nothing. Yes, yes, yes. Nothing is ever. Yeah, yeah. In existence, yes.
Even if it's just within you, you haven't shared it with anyone. It's there. It's
Well,
existed. Just
and
you saying it this
anyway,
moment.
thoughts, yeah, and they float anyway in the ether, right? And then can be picked up by someone else, by something else, by someone else.
Yep. Never thought
So,
of it that way, but I liked it.
well, there's much to discuss. Much to the react. I would see. I have
It
notes,
brings
but
me
then
back to, reacting. So if I give meaning to that reaction, then it exists, then it sort of, rolls over and give it a mass.
reacting is, yeah, and it really listen how. It really depends what kind of, and I'm repeating, but that seems to happen when we do the podcast. I latch on to a theme, and for that podcast, I keep going back to that main theme, and now it's the experience. If you just could be present, if we could just be present and in the experience, whatever the experience we're having, but just be present and allow for some space, the reactive mind will react, like you said, react. But there's no need to really react. We could take some time, maybe 10 deep breaths, and then act instead of react. Take some time, and then, like me not wanting to criticize
Why do
that
you think we
author
don't
anymore.
choose that?
What's the reactive mind? It's the ego mind. It's the ego mind. Because you feel you're being attacked and you need to defend yourself. Of course.
Where does the feeling of being attacked comes from?
The ego.
This is from my two friends I spoke to yesterday.
It's our ego. Someone says to you, "Oh,
What
you're
about
worthless. You're worthless. You're stupid. Oh, shut up. Your opinion, or it's all the ego." Bye bye.
and the ego shows up because when? It's your little
Yeah,
angel
that's my
there.
baby.
She's validating it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
the
love.
ego shows up. Why do you think the ego shows up selectively? Like at times, and sometimes like, okay, I'll take that. I'll process it.
No, not
Really, I'm trying to
selectively.
help
Not
me and my
selectively.
friends yesterday.
No, not selectively.
Sometimes it shows
Always,
up, sometimes
always,
not.
always present. Yes, of course. When things are agreeable, it doesn't show up. It doesn't rear its ugly head. When things are agreeable,
Ah,
when things, of
uh-huh,
course, if
uh-huh.
you're in line. But we need. You know what? Okay. Let's talk about the ego next time from a different
Yeah,
angle.
it's a
Okay.
huge topic.
Yeah. Let's leave it and we'll talk about the ego. Okay. And we'll wrap it up
So,
today.
where?
Yellow.
What would you like to wrap it up?
This.
Take home.
Yeah. No. We'll talk about the ego. That's it. Take that home and have a nice time.
We'll talk about the ego.
Take that
You
that
too.
home and have a nice day.
And experience, yeah,
Yeah,
experience.
Okay. Bye, darling.
Ciao. Bye.